Hello students, myself NK Tukral from Edupedia World. Students, in the previous session, I had discussed on international business. Today I will talk on export trade. But before coming to the export trade directly, I will talk on India's involvement in world business. Let me brief you that what is the Indian involvement in international business. India's involvement in foreign trade is very discouraging. Let me tell you, in 2003, India's share was just 0.8% of world trade. Even in case of foreign investments, results are not satisfactory. India's foreign trade in goods. After the new economic policy of 1991, India's total exports of merchandise has increased from 606 crore in 1950-51 to 2,93,367 crores. I may repeat it, from 606 crore in 50-51 to rupees 2,93,367 crores in 2003-2004. Similarly, import of goods has also increased from 608 crores in 50-51 to 3,59,108 crores in 2003-04. Although India's account for just 0.8% of world exports, its share is much higher in many products like tea, pearls, spices, etc. Moreover, India is the largest exporter of basmati rice, tea and Ayurvedic products. So, India's share in world trade, export trade, is very much in some of the items. India's trade in services. Similarly, let me tell you that there has been a considerable increase in India's exports and imports of services relating to foreign travel, transportation and insurance. The share of travel and transportation has declined from 64.3% in 1995-96 to 29.6% in 2003-04, whereas share of software exports has gone up from 10.2% to around 49% in the corresponding period. So, share of software export has tremendously increased in the corresponding period. So, this is what I wanted to brief you about India's involvement in international business. Now, students, let's go ahead and let us start with what is export trade. Before coming to the term export means shipping in the goods and services out of the jurisdiction of a country. The seller of such goods and services is referred to as an exporter and is based in the country of export, whereas the overseas based buyer is referred to as an importer. Exports are often referred to when speaking about international trade. Now, what is the definition of export trade? Export trade refers to selling of goods and services by a firm of home country to a firm of foreign country. Let's take an example. Sale of sweets by Haldiram to Walmart store in USA. The seller of such goods referred to an exporter and the overseas based buyer is referred to as an importer. Now students, I feel that everybody is very much clear on export trade as what is an export trade. Now let's go ahead see what are the objectives of export trade. Why that export trade is done. Number one objective is to sell surplus goods. A country may produce a commodity in such quantities that are more than it needs. Export trade is undertaken to make fruitful use of such surplus goods. Another objective is better use of resources. Export trade widens the market for goods. A country can make better use of its resources by producing goods on a large scale both for domestic use and exports. Another objective is to earn foreign exchange. Every country wants to earn foreign exchange to grow its economy. So, a country aims to earn valuable foreign exchange through exports. Another objective is to increase national income. Definitely, export trade increases the national income of a country. So, export trade helps a country increase its national income. Increase in national income improves the quality of life of the people also, like you can see in the developed countries, USA, France, etc. Another is to generate employment. The growth of export trade creates employment opportunity for a large number of people. Another objective is international cooperation. Export trade improves mutual understanding and cooperation between the nations. Now, after having the objectives of export trade, let us go ahead and see how to export the things. When I have manufactured some item, and if I want to sell it in the foreign country, what is the process? Although it's a very complicated, but let me explain you. But before that, coming to the process, I may tell you that India's foreign trade, that is export and import, are regulated by foreign trade policy notified by central government in exercise of powers conferred by Section 5 of Foreign Trade Act 1992. Export in itself is a wide concept and lot of preparation is required by an exporter before starting an export business. To start export business, the few steps are to be followed initially. What are those steps? Establish an organization, opening a bank account, opening a permanent account number, obtaining importer-exporter code, registration cum membership certificate, selection of product, selection of market, finding buyer, sampling, pricing, costing, negotiation, covering risks through ECEC, etc., etc. These are the formalities are to be complied under export trade initially. Now, what is the process and procedure? Let us go one by one. First of all, receipt of inquiry. First of all, the prospective buyer sends an inquiry to different exporters to seek information about availability of goods, price, quality and terms and conditions for export of goods. The inquiry can also be conducted through an advertisement or publication in any foreign magazines also. In response to the inquiry, the exporter sends a reply in the form of quotation known as pro forma invoice. The pro forma invoice contains detailed information regarding price, quality, grade, size, weight and all other relevant conditions regarding sale. So this is what receipt of inquiry is the first step. Next is sending quotations. As I may repeat it that the inquiry can also be conducted through advertisement. In response to the inquiry, the exporter sends a reply in the form of quotation that is known as pro forma invoice. That is what I wanted to tell you, that sending quotation. The pro forma invoice contains all these details on quality, grade, etc. Next step is receipt of order or indent. If the prospective buyer is satisfied with the quotation sent through pro forma invoice, then he places an order for the goods to be dispatched. This order is known as indent. Indent contains a description of goods ordered, prices to be paid, delivery terms, packing and marking details and delivery instructions, etc. Now, after receipt of order and indent, next step is assessing importer's credit worthiness. Now, question is how the credit worthiness is to be assessed. After receiving the order, the exporter makes necessary inquiry about the credit worthiness of the importer in order to secure the payment. To minimize the risk of non-payment, exporters generally demand a letter of credit from the importer. What is letter of credit? Is a guarantee issued by the importer's bank that it will honor payment up to a certain amount of export bill to the bank of exporter. Next step is obtaining export license. When the exporter is assured about the payment, he initiates the steps to fulfill export formalities. In India, the exporter is required to obtain export license before exporting the goods. Now, what are the prerequisites for getting an import license? As you can see in the slide, opening bank account. What is this? An exporter has to open a bank account in any bank authorized by the RBI to deal in the foreign exchange. Second is obtaining IEC number. The exporter needs IEC number to fill it in various export-import documents. That is, IEC means export code numbers. To get the IEC number, exporter has to apply to Regional Import-Export Licensing Authority in the prescribed form, which should be supported by the various documents such as full profile of the exporter, bank receipt for payment of the fee, certificate from the banker, 2 copies of photographs attested by the banker, declaration by the exporter that they are not associated with a caution listed form, detail of non-resident interest if there is any such interest in the exporter's firm. This is what we can say obtaining IEC number and formalities along with to comply with. Another is obtaining RCMC certificate from Export Promotion Council. Engineering Export Promotion Council. It is necessary for the exporter to become a member of an appropriate Export Promotion Council and apparel Export Promotion Council and obtain a registration membership certificate for availing benefits available to export firms from the central government. So RCMC means registration membership certificate, which is necessary. Another is register with ECGC. What is ECGC? Export Credit and Guarantee Corporation. Registration with ECGC is necessary to protect overseas payments from political and commercial risks. Such registration also helps the exporter in getting financial assistance from commercial banks and other financial institutions. Now, after obtaining export license, the next step is obtaining pre-shipment, that is finance. After receiving the letter of credit, the exporter approaches his banker for pre-shipment finance. Pre-shipment finance is the finance that the exporter needs for procuring raw materials and other components, processing and packing of goods, and transportation of goods to the port of shipment. Then after there, next step is procurement of goods. After getting the pre-shipment finance, the exporter starts manufacturing the goods. In case the exporter is not a manufacturer, then he procures the goods from the market. The goods so produced or procured should conform to the specifications given in the export order. Next step is pre-shipment inspection. In order to ensure that only good quality products are exported, the Indian government has passed Export Quality Control and Inspection Act 1963. What is the objective? The objective is to make compulsory inspection of certain categories of products. If goods fall under this category, then exporter applies to the Export Inspection Agency. If the goods conform to the prescribed specification, an inspection certificate is issued. This certificate is to be submitted along with other export documents at the time of exports. So these are the formalities under pre-shipment inspection. Next is excise clearance. Now, according to the Central Excise Tariff Act, exporter is required to pay excise duty on certain excisable goods and to obtain excise clearance certificate for the same. For the certificate, he has to apply to the concerned excise commissioner with an invoice. When the commissioner is satisfied, he issues the excise clearance. Next step is that obtaining certificate of origin. What is this? Some importing countries provide tariff concessions or other exemptions to the goods coming from a particular country. In order to obtain such benefits, the importer may ask the exporter to send a certificate of origin. This certificate testifies the origin of goods exported. It can be obtained from the trade consulate located in the exporter's country. Next step is reservation of shipping space. The exporting firm applies to the shipping company for the reservation of shipping space. This is the next step when going to export. He has to provide complete details regarding type of good inspected, date of shipment, port of destination, etc. On accepting the application, the shipping company issue a shipping order. So, shipping order is an instruction to the captain of the ship to receive the specified goods on board after clearance from the customs. Next step is packing and forwarding. The goods are then properly packed and marked with necessary details like names, address of the importer, gross and net weight, port of shipment and destination, etc. Next step is insurance of goods. This is quite necessary in order to safeguard loss of goods on account of perils of sea. The goods are insured with an insurance company and insurance policy is collected by the exporter. Next step is customs clearance. Now, what is custom clearance? Under custom clearance, goods can be loaded on the ship only when they get custom clearance. To obtain the custom clearance, the exporter prepares the shipping bill. Shipping bill contains details regarding goods to be exported, name of the vessel, port, where goods are to be discharged, destination country, etc. 5 copies of the shipping bill along with the following documents are submitted to the customs appraiser at the custom house. Number 1, export contract. Second, letter of credit, commercial invoice, certificate of origin. Next is certificate of inspection and marine insurance policy. This is what is required under custom clearance. Next step is obtaining mate's receipt. After getting the custom clearance, the goods are loaded on the ship, for which the captain of the ship or his mate, that is his assistant, mate means assistant, issues a receipt to the port superintendent known as mate's receipt. It contains details regarding name of the vessel, berth, date of the shipment. The port superintendent hands over the mate's receipt to the C&F agent or exporter after receiving the port dues. Next step is payment of freight and insurance, or you can say insurance and issuance of a bill of lading. After getting the mate's receipt, the exporter or C&F agent surrenders the mate receipt to the shipping company. After shipping company receives the freight, it issues a bill of lading. In case goods are being sent by air, this document is referred to as an airways bill. Another next step is preparation of invoice. After sending the goods, the exporter prepares an invoice for the goods exported. The invoice will contain details about the quantity of goods sent and the amount to be paid by the importer. Then next step is securing payment. After the shipment, the exporter informs the importer and sends following document to the importer who can claim title of goods. That is certificate copy of invoice, bill of lading, packing list, insurance policy, certificate of origin, letter of credit. So these documents are sent through the exporter's bankers with the instruction that the documents be delivered to importer only when he accepts the bill of exchange, which is also sent along with the above mentioned documents. Now, what is bill of exchange? Bill of exchange is an order to the importer to pay a certain amount of money to or to the order of certain persons to the bearer of the instruments. And bill of exchange can be of two types: documents against sight and documents against acceptance. What is document against sight? In this case, documents are handed over only against payment and against acceptance. Next, usage draft means in this case, documents are delivered to the importer when he accepts the bill of exchange and agrees to make payment on maturity. This is what is the full process of securing payment. Further, students, for securing payment, the exporter's bank receives the payment through the importer's bank either immediately or on maturity. This amount is credited to the exporter's account. So this is all the processes, all the steps are to be followed while exporting the goods. So students, this is all for today's class. As we have discussed on export of trade and processing of export trade, how to process and what are the formalities are to be complied under foreign export of goods. So this is all for today. Thank you, student. Bye bye.